The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits.
Michael Bloomberg held talks to take his media empire public. Bloomberg, ex-construction exec. Michael Bloomberg has been in talks to take his media empire public through an entity controlled by billionaire Bill Ackman. The Post has learned. The former mayor of New York City and failed presidential hopeful recently entertained an offer to sell a minority stake in Bloomberg LP, the news agency behind Bloomberg Businessweek magazine and Bloomberg TV and Bloomberg Terminal. Y'all know what that is? Anyone got it? Let me know. To Ackman's $5 billion blank check company, multiple sources said. This is from the New York Post. This is not from a normal source on these, like Roosters or... What are the other ones that we usually hear from? I would take this with a total grain of salt. They're saying multiple sources, though. I don't know. This could be legit, right? It's usually come from Bloomberg's, right? Maybe Bloomberg will put out another one of these. I doubt it. This kind of does, make me think, like, of course Bloomberg didn't put it out, right? Why would they? Kind of makes me think like it might be true. If the men reach a deal, Bloomberg's stock would trade on the New York Stock Exchange in a place for PSTH, a blank check company, raised $5 billion. It's unclear whether Bloomberg will move forward with the partial sale, but the billionaire, worth an estimated $55 billion, according to Forbes, has spoken about the plan directly with Ackman, sources said. Sources say the deal on the tables call for the three-term ex-NYC mayor who rose to national prominence this year when he sought the Democratic nomination for president to sell a small personal stake so he can cash out without giving up control of news agency he founded in 1981. He's going to cash out. He's going to cash out, of which he owns 88%. Fantastic. A Bloomberg LP spokesperson told the Post that the company is not for sale in any form and denied that the deal is being explored. You guys how they keep saying for sale? Come on now. Does New York Post not know what a SPAC is? Guarantee they don't. Ackman, who declined to comment through a spokesman, discussed the possibility of taking a minority stake in the larger company earlier this month as it was a way to invest in the billions he raised in the special purpose acquisition company SPAC. In an interview, fellow hedge fund manager Whitney Tilson, Ackman retrained his plans to target an entry value between 10. We know that. If you're selling 100% of your company, you want the last dollar. If you're selling 20% of your company in a merger, which enables you to take your company public, you keep control. You're much less price sensitive, Ackman said in an interview. Bloomberg LP is a $60 billion company that generates revenue of $10 billion a year. Ackman could potentially buy a 20% stake for $12 billion. 20% would be the most Mike would likely give up, added one of the investment bankers with knowledge of the talks. This seems pretty legit. That's enough to float without giving up too much. Ackman supported Bloomberg's ill-fated presidential run, and the two men developed a personal relationship as a result. I bet they did. They also both signatories of the Giving Pledge campaign founded by Warren Buffett and Bill and Melinda Gates, the company's billionaires who contribute a majority. Yeah, okay. So, I don't know. Oh, there's a picture of Bill right there. A deal with Ackman could give Bloomberg 78 more money to meet his Giving Pledge, source said. Sure. Ackman is a hedge fund manager. Yep. Sources at Bloomberg LP had long been on top of Ackman's list of potential acquisitions, and Wall Street chatter over potential deal picking upstream after Ackman approached to merge with Airbnb was reportedly rebuffed in August. So remember, Ackman's vocal. He's one of the guys that, he acts like he's being a secret, but he's really not. Passive aggressive? I don't know. What do you call it? He has wanted Bloomberg from the start. One of the Wall Streeter with knowledge of the talks. He took a run at Airbnb, but Bloomberg was always at the top of his list. And the deal makes sense. He loves Mike. It's a huge win for him. All right. Yeah, of course, Bloomberg has long resisted overtures to take his company public or dilute his 88% ownership stake. But the deal Ackman has pitched would allow him to cash out some stock without having to surrender control of the company. he built from the ground after it's listed. Mike Bloomberg doesn't need a roadshow or an underwriters. He's too rich and everyone knows what his company does. One investment banker told the Post, a SPAC is a reasonable way to take his company public, or at least a minority of it. For Ackman, a merger with Bloomberg would be huge for his investors, giving them stakes in a majority media company for $84 a share, $24 a share, which is what they paid for the stock in the shell entity. It would also help cement Ackman's transaction from hedge fund manager to tycoon investor. That's the only reason he's doing this, I believe. If he gets Bloomberg, that's his masterpiece. I have a feeling that Bill Ackman wrote all this, man. If I get Bloomberg, that'll be my masterpiece. A rival hedge fund manager mused, if even getting 15% of that company makes his SPAC the biggest success yet, and he can raise another $5 billion on the next day. That's true. What do you think? This seems New York Post. I've never read anything that sounded quite like this. That might not have been true. I'm not a follower of them, but this seems legit. What I'm piecing and hearing in my mind together, it seems legit to me. Plus, this has been a rumor since like day one. Ackman's talked about it, I think, publicly, right? I mean, haven't we brought it up? Possibly Bloomberg? Yeah, I think so. So what do you think? I think we better watch this stock. Maybe buy some more. I don't know. I think it's a decent place to park right now still. Let's move on to some other news. AMCI. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Anyone who's in the warrants, they offered a $1.50 warrant buyout offer at closing of deal right before the extension vote. Then they removed the offer right after the extension vote passed. So they said, hey, vote on the extension and we'll make sure you get $1.50 for your warrants. And so everyone's like, okay, we'll vote for that. Everyone voted. And then after they got the approval for it and all the votes, then they're like, oh, remember we were told you we'd give you $1.50 for your warrants? We're not going to do that anymore. You're going to get a lot of pissed off people. Maybe a couple lawsuits in there. That's what I think. I'm sorry anyone who's in that. That sucks. I'm sure it went down. If it were me, I don't know. The good thing is the company that they're going with could end up doing something someday, so could just hold it for a year or 6 months. Could end up going back up. Should be able to hit the $1.50 at some point, right? I'm sure it's selling off for the next week, though. NHICW, the warrants, are super cheap right now. Today they were super cheap. I let my patrons know about it. If you're not a patron, you should do it. Slide to things like this. Unbelievable what you can get some stuff at right now. Oh, and yeah, so then Bloomberg did tweet out and said a report today about Bloomberg LP ownership is not true. The company is not for sale. This is totally definitive and kind of funny how they worded it, if you ask me. It's totally blatant. I really feel like Spackman has got control of Bloomberg. I bet you he does the tweets for him. I don't know. Did he write this too? But again, the company's not for sale. And then I wrote him and said, helping a company go public isn't selling it. And plus, whoever smelt it dealt it. Bill Ackman, I think, who wrote it. What do you think? Did Bill Ackman write that whole story? I think he did. Come on, Bill, just admit it, dude. It'd be funny. It'd be really, really funny. Just admit it. I know it's against SecFile, but just admit it. We know you'd get out of it. You got lawyers. What do you think? You guys jumping into the Bloomberg hype? You think that'd be a good target? I think it would. Man, it'd be his masterpiece that could get painted. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. Definitely helps out the channel. If you wouldn't mind sharing this video with your friends, please do it. It definitely helps out. And please give us a thumbs up. Take care.
Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.